Hi Ravens, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. I know I've only done my weekly update a couple of weeks ago, but significant changes have happened in my Path of Exile life, and I just wanted to share those with you, plus what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. So first of all, Diablo 4 is coming out. I'm really interested in Diablo 4. I have been playing the Diablo franchise since Diablo 1 first hit our shelves back in 1996/97. And then I moved on to D2, D3, and now here we are with D4, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I will be doing some D4 content. If you don't like Diablo 4, that's fine. Just don't watch the videos. Stay subscribed to the channel, please, because I will be doing Path of Exile as well. I will still be doing my weekly updates. I'll probably be doing more Diablo 4 than PoE during the week, but PoE play will still form part of my daily routine depending on IRL jobs. The next couple of days I'll be playing a lot of No Man's Sky. I may stream some of that. I'm not sure yet. I really do enjoy No Man's Sky. It's very calming, and I've chosen options, so it's SSF play, and I'm really enjoying that. So yeah, that's that. In regards to Last Epoch, I've had a couple of questions and tweets etc about Last Epoch. I am one of the original Kickstarters of Last Epoch, top 500, and I haven't done any content on it, and I haven't played it very much. For about 2 years ago I stopped really. The reason that is because they are still in beta and with no set release date, and I don't enjoy games that don't have a set release date, so I don't see the point in dedicating a lot of time to Last Epoch when they can deploy a patch and it can make the build that you've been playing and concentrating on for the last however long just completely irrelevant. I don't have the time to put into Last Epoch and then Path of Exile and D4. So at the moment it's just going to be Path of Exile and Diablo 4. Last Epoch will filter in once we get closer to an actual proper release date, and then I'll be back on that as well. So let's get back to the original topic of the video. Path of Exile, what changes have been made? Well, as you can see, I'm on my hardcore SSF challenge. That's been completed as per previous, but I wanted to hide what's been happening. So we're going to Crucible. Crucible's fine. I'm just waiting for the end of this season for it to transfer over, and outside of BPL, this will probably be the last time I will play League. Any League play now in Path of Exile will happen in BPL unless the League is ridiculously good. I might do it beforehand, but probably not. I'll probably just still wait for the BPL. I enjoy playing Standard, and the reason I like playing Standard is pretty much for one reason only: Legacy Quicksilver. Well, two reasons: Legacy Quicksilver Flask, and I don't have to do red maps. I love leveling up. I love the campaign in Path of Exile. I love going through white maps and yellow maps. I hate having to go through red maps where you corrupt them. You've got one map, you corrupt it, it changes the tier, it changes the map type, and all of a sudden it's got reflect, insert the one you can't do unless you're playing Chaos, and then you're fine. And then that's it, done. That map's gone. And unless you have the currency to buy a map from someone else at high inflated prices, or a map from Kirak that is already corrupted that you can do, fantastic. If not, you're stuck. And if that's the only red map you had, well done, you've got to grind for another however long to get another map. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And that's why I play Standard. So with that in mind, let's move over to Standard. Ah, yeah, we're down to 5 characters. I had a bit of an epiphany, and I don't know how many people checked it out, but my Google sheet that had all of the listed standard characters on there, approximately how much it would cost to replace them in Standard and what they were used for, that's gone. It was taking up far too much time to keep that up to date. I would change a build on a fairly regular basis, just to try and get that little bit of extra DPS or tank, and then I'd have to update the POB and then update the thing and update the... it's a nightmare. So it's gone. That's a lot of stress off my shoulders. If you want to know what my characters look like, you can always look at my profile. It's public. As for costs, most people don't play standard, so the cost of the build is completely irrelevant. Some of the items on my characters you can't get hold of in League anymore. Some of the items on my characters in League cost like 30C, but in standard it's 25 divines. So the cost difference is completely material. If you want to copy the build, fine, no problem. Look at my profile. You can import that into POB, and then just look for the items. If it comes up, the item doesn't exist in League, it's probably because it's legacy. Ask me questions, I don't mind. Discord, Twitter, comment on the video, whatever. Most of my characters do have legacy items. Most of them are the legacy flasks, where they gain 7 charges when you are hit, or like the legacy quicksilver is my prolific one, where the increased duration is ridiculously high. But more often than not, it's just the movement speed is 20% plus, rather than I think the tier 1 now is about 10, maybe 12. So there's that. Some of the builds have got the old Conqueror's efficiency jewels in them, which are removed. Specifically on my Delirium character, I've got the legacy melding jewel without the minus max res, so there's that to consider. And it goes on and on and on. I'm not going to go through the list because each character's got certain stuff. Why have I deleted 3 to 5 characters from standard? It's due to my autism. There was too much choice. The idea was I'd have a set character for each mechanic: Legion, Delve, Heist, etc. And the list goes on. So, Blight. But I was finding that I would want to play the character, but I didn't have the mechanic. So for example, I love playing Blade Vortex, BV, but I didn't have any Legion content because more often than not it's blocked on my Atlas passives because I'm doing something else. So there was no point in me having that character. It was just sat there taking up space on my character thing, taking up valuable gear, valuable gems, and just sitting there doing nothing for months. So it's gone. My Corrupting Fevered Champion was designed to do Blight. It did Blight really, really well. T16, anointed, qualitied, well rolled, corrupted. It could do all of that. I went into a T14 unrolled, anointed, Blight Ravaged map, and died on the first boss that appeared. So that was about 30 divines down the drain, so that's gone. We are left now with the legacy baby heist character, which will never be played unless GGG bring back some way of either capping XP so the character can't level up, or bring back some way of de-leveling again. So other than that, that character will be there. I may invest in the character just to be OP and get it really good gear, but other than that, it's going to remain as my hideout design character, simply because of how fast it is. It is a raider, sorry. So let's get to the hideout. So in the hideout, we've got all our stuff updated, and without pressing a single button, we have a lot of speed. As soon as I hit my legacy quicksilver flask, we go even ridiculously faster, which makes doing stuff like the hideout really good, because I can just move over the hideout and get it done. So the character is due for a rename. So this is what I meant about legacy quicksilver. As you can see here, 35% increased duration, 22% increased movement speed. You can see in brackets the new values. Additionally, I've used enkindling orbs to get 96% increased duration. This character has no XP because I went right up until the patch 3.21 hit, when they removed the books of aggression, and at that point I used the book of progression, took it back down to 0% level 59, and yeah, as I said earlier in the video, unless they get some way of capping XP or bring back some way of deleveling, this character won't earn any XP. So there, that's that character. Death Oaths haven't. I've done some minor changes to my Death Oath character. Well, I say minor, quite a lot of minor changes on the Death Oath character. This character now is going to be running pretty much a lot of things. We've got a Headhunter on now from the Blade Vortex character, and it's working really, really well. I removed the Inspired Learning the character had. We've changed the gear around a bit, because removing the Stygian Vice meant I had to play around my resists. I'm not as resist capped as I was. This was all like 130 plus. But with elemental weakness on maps now only being minus 15%, it's really easy to cap, and obviously chaos resist cap as well. So that's that. None of the gears changed. The tree has changed quite a lot. We're down in this area. We've got a intuitive leap here to save some points. So we've picked up Mind Drinker, we've picked up Resourcefulness, and we've picked up the Frenzy Charge, saving about 5 or 6 points. We don't need the extra mana here or the Mastery there. As you can see, got 175 mana. Everything is life tapped, apart from Caustic Arrow, which is only 51 mana, and I don't cast it that much anyway. We've introduced a Thread of Hope using the points received up there, and then we've taken multi-shot because the attack speed doesn't really matter. I very rarely use Caustic Arrow, and when I do, the extra arrows are nice, so we've got that one there. We've got Master Fletch down here for an extra arrow, that's 2. And then over here we've got Quick Step just for the movement speed, and I had a spare point, I didn't know where else to put it, so at the moment we've just gone for an extra 6% movement speed. And that's about it really. There was not much more else we changed. So that means now that that character is performing a lot better, a little bit faster. I've got some, we've changed the 2-stone ring. I had a prefix, so I used an Exalted Lord to slam it and got lightning damage to attacks, but it's fine, whatever. It was just I had a spare Exalt, so it got slammed. We've changed the resistances on the gear here just to make sure we've got the cold resist. A lot of cold resist was coming from the belt and the ring I had up here. Because we've got the Divine Flesh, I needed more, or wanted more chaos resist. So yeah, that's how we've got 86 up to 83 max res now. I took the extra one here to get it up to 83. So we've got 83% chaos res as our total. No changes have been made to the Delirium character. I'm not even going to bother logging in. I rolled some cluster jewels, spent a lot of rolling on cluster jewels and realised this character had better cluster jewels, so that was a mistake. I wasted a ton of currency and time. So that's updated. This character, my heist character, my jug, has not changed in any manner. I've still got the atrociously bright MTX on there, with all the MTX. This is the most heavily invested MTX character in there. I tried to YOLO annul a couple of items and Regal a couple of items. It didn't work. I couldn't be bothered to imprint, so all the crafting heist gear I had has now been done and dusted. We ended up with this for Isla. We got +1 level of all jobs. We orged into not generating alert level when using engineering, regaled into +1 engineering, and then just X-slammed to see what we got. We got travel fee. It would have been better if that had been something else. I don't know what off the top of my head, but it works. So we've got to give that to Isla. And we've got a whole load more. We've got another thematic blowtorch here when I get some more currency to try and get a perfect rolled one, but we'll see how that goes. I've still got a ton of gear to roll, still got loads of blueprints to roll, loads of contracts to run, so that'll be that. Nothing's changed on this character. I'll invest once I get some more currency. And then finally, this was my MF character. I tried playing around with it after the weekly update. I found out that without investing about 40 divines in the build, because it's standard, so things are a little bit higher, I didn't like playing it. That resists not being resist capped without that flask up was bothering me. I couldn't figure out a way still staying full MF and capping. I'd need two really good, well-rolled Venters, and they're about 20-25 divines each. So I didn't want to invest that much currency in a build didn't really enjoy playing. I like the idea of MFing, I just don't have the currency to invest of it right now. So we changed it. We got it renamed by GGG. We've done an MTX change, a nicer one, and we've done a complete build change. So this is the MTX now. Let's bring it up. So we've got Arch Nemesis weapon there, Elite Emberkeep weapon here. Everything else is Elite Emberkeep set with the Prospero's ring, the normal Gemling Sage portrait frame, and the normal Imperator apparition portal effect. These two are on all my characters. Hidden all of the buffs because why not? I've got Mirage Archer as a Stygian, and then the Totem as Dragon Skin. So what's the build? Artillery Ballista. It's an Artillery Ballista Lightning Arrow build, and so far I've died once since having the build. I have done T16 Alkengo maps. I've done a temple, a couple of temples actually, eye level 83 temples. I did T14 anointed but not rolled blight map with no problems at all. And the only reason I died was because I'm right at the moment, the point of recording, Bela Mage is live on Twitch and he is playing Diablo 1. I've got it on another screen, which is why I'm a bit distracted in this video, because I'm watching him play it. It's really funny. And I was trying to give him some advice. I wasn't looking at what was happening, and I died in one of the maps I was running. So there we go, my fault for trying to help. So let's go over the gear. We've got this bow I had in my stash. It's a very weak Trinity elemental damage 6-link bow. Inspiration, this should be Divergent. Again, I've just used gear I had in my stash. If I didn't have it, I went and brought one, which is appropriate for only the helm and the gloves. Everything else came out of my stash, so I have no idea how much this would cost to replicate. I'm going to be min-maxing all of these characters, and in fact I'm doing using the better trading extension to set up searches for the absolute best in slot gear for each of my characters, and I will be investing in these characters over the coming months / years. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go what's on the character, not what the character should have, because that will happen over time. Inspiration, elemental damage with attacks, increased crit damage, Trinity, Lightning Arrow, and Mirage Archer. Again, I know these aren't 2020 gems. I didn't have one in my stash. I'm not spending any currency unless I have to. I'm in a state of making currency, so if I don't have to spend it, I won't. This is just level 1s that I've been leveling up, or I may have had in a stash. So Divergent Precision, Determination, Elemental Support, and Anomalous Purity of Elements, not ailments. This is the Vol's Vision I got from trade. It is a 100% perfectly rolled. What's it? So we've got armor of 185 or 185, energy shield of 58. It already had the determination on there, and then everything else is almost max. We've got max cows resist roll, 2 off fire resist, 2 off the armor, and 2 off the maximum life. if no equipped items are corrupted, which is why we're using it. I had a Yoka's Suffering in my stash. I used the catalysts from my stash and the oils in my stash to put on the Virgin Cascade. This was one in my stash, so it's not that well rolled, but again, as I said earlier, trying to save currency. Taming I had in my stash, I just changed the anointment on there. It's an okay rolled one, only 4 off max for elemental resists, and that's it on the actual roll. So it's 4% of being perfect. This ring was in my stash and I'm using it for the stats. It is a stat stick at the moment because I need the stats. Attributes, sorry. You get it. And the Chaos Resist. Oh, I haven't anointed it yet because I'm not sure what anoint I want on it. We've got the Heres Ire that I found and then qualityed and then white socketed in 3.2, I think. I got this. No one would buy my 6 white socket Varici. No, that's not his name, but that person. So I used it and got 5 out of 6 and kept it. So this was in my stash as is. Didn't do anything to it, so that's gone in there. And this has got our elemental damage attacks, increased crit damage, elemental focus, inspiration, conk effect, and artillery ballista. A lot of people are using focus ballista here, but I run and drop totems as I'm running, so I'm not using lightning arrow a lot. So I didn't want focus ballista, so because the ballista only fires when I fire and I'm not doing a lot of firing. I am running around really fast, dropping the odd ballista here and there to kill mobs behind me. And then I'll loot. I generally loot the map afterwards because legacy Quicksilver. So that's that. We go down to our boots, which I had in my stash. I haven't even changed the rolls on there. They're not that great. Life regeneration needs to come off because of the gloves, which we'll get to in a moment. And in here we've got Mana Forged Arrows, Power Charge on Crit, Ensnaring Arrow, and Frenzy. This is OP. It's absolutely amazing. I don't have to press a button. It auto casts Ensnaring Arrow and Frenzy. So I'm generating frenzy charges and things are getting moved and slowed and stuff. It's absolutely brilliant. And it takes away 3 buttons. Well, 2 buttons I should say. So I'm not having to use frenzy. I can actually use lightning arrow, which is awesome. Which is the one big problem I have with totem builds. So a lot of people go after ancestral bond, whichever way they do it, and then they're relying on frenzy. I like to do damage myself, which is why I don't like that playstyle. I love totems and ballistas, but I like relying solely on them. As for the Stygian Vice, again, this was in my stash. I just whacked on the attributes there to get the strength up. And then we've got this Searching Idol that I had, again, in the stash. Or did I buy it? I think I might have brought this one because I didn't have one with the intellect I needed. Because I like using Frostblink as my move skill, I needed 155 int, and that was the way to get that. These are the gloves we've got on, Comb Spirit, so we don't have any life regen. We get 1 rage, which is giving us attack speed and movement speed. I tried figuring out a way of getting Berserk in the build. I'm thinking of dropping the life tap support here because we don't have life regen. It doesn't matter because we've got so much leech on the passive tree, which I'll get to in a minute. So our Sniper's Mark is costing us nearly 200 life and our Frostblink is 66 life. I don't use Frostblink a lot, but when I do it is noticeable. So I'm thinking of just dropping this, which would make this 13 mana, which I've got, and then this becomes 57 mana, which again can be a bit expensive because it's 18 mana for the ballista and then 18 mana for lightning arrow. So that's that's about 100 mana, give or take. No, about 80 mana. Sorry, maths are bad. And then I've got enough for that, that makes 100 mana. So these are 60 mana to cast Sniper's Mark, and then I can't move. So it's a bit I haven't played around with it yet, and then I could add Berserk here, which will be another button, so it'll be a 3-4-ish button build, but I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. So at the moment it's stuck at life tap. This is in my stash. I'm only using it for the chance to duplicate rogue markers. I've got a well rolled life flask. I like using low life, especially more so on this character, because with the leech we've got, we generally sit around this bit, but sometimes we take a massive hit or degen, especially on chaos, and then we go right down here, and in one tap of life flask and we're back up to max, which is why I like using the eternal life flask. I know divine life flask has more, but it's over more seconds. This is over 2 seconds. It's 2.5k over 2 seconds, but then you get more recovery if used on low life, which if I'm down here on low life, I'm fully healed in a blink of an eye because it's 2 seconds. So that's pretty good. Legacy Quicksilver Flask, Jade Flask, which I rolled. I've now got, I don't need this, it needs to be re-rolled. I didn't have Purity of Elements on initially. I had this slot opened in case my Trinity wasn't working. Trinity does work on this setup, so I then slotted in the Purity of Elements. So I just need to change this flask out. We've got less curse effect on our Granite Flask, and then on Golden Flask we've got our attack speed. This was nabbed from the EMF build. So that's all the gear and the gem setup. Let's go into the passive tree. So we've gone for Ricochet, Endless Munitions, Gathering Winds, and then down for Focal Point. This should be done via Flesh and Flame jewels, but one of the jewels is 50 divines, so I have to wait. So at the moment I've taken this, but ideally this would be done by Flesh and Flame, and then we'll come up here for Fast Shot. That's the build. There's the passive. I'm not going to go through the details fully. You can see where the passive are. Mastery wise, we've got prod speed here. We've got 50 to max life there. Crit against unique enemies. Up here for inverted elemental resists. Over here for 8 damage per aura. This one's got 10% leeches instant and max life if there are no life modifiers on our armor, which there isn't because Hiri's Aya is OP. I forgot to put my Lion Eyes jewel in. My bad. Where is it? There it is. There we go. What a mistake to make. So now we've got, we are no longer wasting all of these passive points, and we've got crit strikes have culling there from the dagger / extra bow mastery. We've got power charge up here as well, which we tend to get up to about 3 or 4. We've got this cluster jewel, which I brought. No, I didn't buy this one. I rolled this one, or had this one in my stash. I think I had this one in my stash. We've got this one here, and we've got this one down here for the all attributes and chaos resist. We come down here and we've got attributes, life, and the elemental, the lightning resist, which I no longer need now thanks to the elements, purity of elements. And then finally up here, as you saw earlier, we've got the legacy replica Conqueror's Efficiency, which you can no longer get unless you're in standard. And then finally down here we've got a large -11 all resist Thread of Hope, where we pick up Master Fletcher, Primeval Force, One with Nature, Aspect of the Eagle, and Multi-Shot. And that's the build. Oh, and I've got a Watcher's Eye over here. Because we've got Determ and Precision, we're not affected by vulnerability and cannot be blinded. Again, it was just laying around in my stash, and it was the most useful one I had in my stash. Speaking of stash, as you can see, the gear I had from in previous videos is radically reduced. I had loads of tabs up here, couldn't think of the word. with various amounts of gear in that I've been saving over the years just in case. It's now all for sale. I've got a ton of gear up for sale at various prices in standard. Hopefully this will sell, and I can then invest into my builds heavier and do some more content. So there we go, that is the big upgrade. I'm not going to show this character in gameplay, it's not the point of this video. Not only that, it'll take more time, and this is already a 30-minute video. So yeah, that's it. That's where I stand at the moment. As I said, next, you probably won't hear from me for the next few days while we wait for D4 to kick off. Once that goes live, I'll be doing D4. I may stream some D4. I am playing Rogue, but I'll go through that in another video. Actually, no, there'll be a D4 Rogue showing my League Starter build, and I'll probably do that in the next couple of days after we've had. There's a data mine date for the 30th with the preload data, and that may change my build. So once that's been done and I've had time to investigate that, I'll refine my build and then get a video out, just hopefully before it goes live. That's the update. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for liking, subscribing, etc. The channel is demonetized because I'm medically retired on state funds, but it does help me with my mental health to know that people like my videos and enjoying the content I'm putting out there. Any criticism, constructive, would be appreciated. Yeah, there we go. End of the video. Thanks.